Watch this.
It's Friday. You know what that means? It's time to end the week here on the 208. We'll start with this. Tax dollars pay our lawmakers, and depending on how you feel about politics, it could be a great or horrible deal. We're reviewing the numbers with the history lesson up today. And yes, lawmakers are up for a raise. Speaking of the people that work in the big building downtown, in 2022, an effort to return property tax dollars passed. We're circling back now to see how individual cities are using the program. And yes, it's Friday, a time we like to reflect and feel good. We met a stranger with a message about change, and there's a good chance you've heard it walking around Boise. We'll introduce you. Over the years here on the 208, one of the most popular comments or text message we get is a simple reaction. I can't believe my tax dollars are being used for that. That could be a million things. But one of the places your tax dollars goes to is paying lawmakers. Idaho has a part-time legislature, so their pay is supposed to reflect that. Over the years, though, their pay has changed. Here's what it's looked like. We will pick up the story in the 1970s when there were talks to adjust legislative compensation, but those faced significant resistance. Voters repeatedly rejected increases, with the state's legislative pay ranking about 40th nationally for much of the decade. In 1970, Idaho voters turned down a proposal to raise compensation for the second time. The following year, the daily rate was set to $10, limited to 60 regular session days and 20 special session days. In that same year, a constitutional amendment, SJR 107, aimed to fix the annual salary at $5,500 plus $6 a day in per diem. But that failed too. Another proposal in 1972 wanted to raise the annual pay to $3,600 plus 10 cents per mile. That also failed. In 1976, there was a major proposal to create a Citizens Committee on Legislative Compensation. 3 members appointed by the governor, 3 by the Supreme Court. And that committee sets the standard to this day. In 1976, the daily rate remained $10, with $25 to $35 in expenses, though the total cost was estimated at $10,000 per day in terms of all the lawmakers being there. Salaries were capped at 60 days. In 1979, the Legislative Compensation Committee recommended increasing the annual salary from $3,000 to $4,200. However, the proposal was rejected in the Idaho Senate. The House initially voted to block the raise, but the resolution failed to get the necessary 2/3 majority by just 7 votes. Salaries remained relatively flat through the 1980s and 90s, ranging from about $12,000 to a little more than $15,000 annually. Per diem also gradually increased from the $40 to $75 range in the 1990s to about $50 to $130 by the 2010s, with different rates for daily commuters versus those outside of Ada County who have to have a second residence within the county for the session. In the 2010s, the commission recommended a 1% to 2% annual salary increase, bringing the base salary up to about $17,000 by 2018. Adjustments were also made to per diem rates and reimbursement policies over this time. As of 2024, lawmakers make about $20,000, with added per diems as well. All right, so here we are, 2024. Now, Idaho lawmakers are weighing if they should give themselves a raise. So, Idaho's Constitution, it very specifically outlines compensation for the members of the legislature. And basically what it says, the legislature has no power to establish their own pay, their own compensation, or their expenses. So a citizens committee is in charge of setting that rate. And lawmakers can ask for whatever they want. That actually happened this fall. But the committee gets to decide, and that committee pushed back. Take a look. Lawmaker leadership had proposed an average take-home pay increase of about $6,400, or about 43% in most cases with everything included, while also tying legislative compensation to a percentage of the average Idaho household income. And the proposal also included removing the session meal and per diem allowances. Well, the Citizens Committee, they said no. And we did hear from the people about why they thought the increase was too much. Salamita Rotante from American Action Fund argued a 40-some% increase is out of touch. And Nicholas Kleinworth, the policy director for the Idaho Freedom Foundation, echoed the same.
A 43% pay increase for legislators during a time of historic inflation is out of touch with what Idaho people want and the conservative values we hold true. Americans receive an average 3% pay increase annually. It is shocking that this proposal calls for legislators to receive 40% more than the average American does. This pay hike would make Idaho the highest paid part-time legislature in the United States.
The true increase of this raise is actually between 32 and 43%, which is far above the original claims in the letter. A recent analysis shows that Idaho's compensation rate is above average for a part-time legislature. Idaho is also at par with her neighbors in Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and North Dakota.
And that Citizens Committee agreed with those points, so they instead voted to raise the annual base salary for lawmakers from $19,913 to $25,000 for each of the next 2 years. It's an increase of about 25% over the current base pay. They also wanted to avoid moving per diem into the base salary. A committee member argued that would increase the cost to taxpayers without providing additional funds to the lawmakers. An interesting note, though, from testimony. Outgoing lawmaker and Senate Pro Tem Chuck Winder, a person who will not be serving beginning in January, he won't be getting a raise, he actually made a case for a larger increase.
The salary is so low that it doesn't attract particularly young families that can come and afford to work basically at that level. So I think there's some reason here.
It's a fair point. If you can't afford to go to the legislature, you likely won't run for office if you don't have independent wealth or a second job that comfortably lets you come and go. But the committee, for now, they didn't bite on the comments, and the committee's recommendation will now be forwarded to the entire Idaho legislature for consideration during the upcoming session. Lawmakers will have the final say on any changes to their own compensation. Within 25 days of the session, here's what they can do. They can lower the pay, or they can reject the whole thing and continue to be paid at the current rate. To be clear, no option for lawmakers to bump their own pay in this process. Sticking at the State House, with the passing of House Bill 550 back in 2022, a new law gave municipalities, cities, the go-ahead to use money from their general fund to give property tax relief to qualifying property owners. This week, the city of Boise shared some updates they're making to the property tax rebate program, which is entering its third active year. The 208's Aspen Shumpert has updates for us, as well as reaction from an Idaho lawmaker about the program's progress or not.
I think it's very important that we take care of our seniors and disabled people who may be threatened with losing their home because of high property taxes. I was looking for a way to rebate more of the property tax to these folks, and that's how we. And so that's how this House Bill 550 came into being.
House Bill 550 passed in 2022, allowing municipalities to use money from their general fund to provide property tax relief to qualifying individuals. Representative John Gannon, who sponsored the bill, says it was left broad for a reason.
It's so that the city councils are responsible for their own money, which they are, and they would have the power to rebate property taxes as they see it appropriate.
Boise remains the only municipality to roll out a rebate program.
It's really meaningful for some of our residents that puts money back in their pockets.
I think other mayors should be doing it also. That's what the bill is for. I think every city has somewhat of a duty to make sure that that folks who are struggling can retain home ownership.
The last 2 years, Boise qualifiers have been people who are disabled or with a low income. For this third year, they're expanding the program.
As part of the initiative from the mayor is childcare, which we know is a really pressing need in our community. So they were able to expand that for licensed in-home childcare providers. We have about 60 that we're aware of in our community, and they are also eligible for the property tax rebate program.
To qualify, the city says the provider has to be licensed, has to own their home, and has to be actively providing child care services.
I think that Boise City Council and the mayor really care about providing as much property tax relief as we can to residents. It's a heavy administrative ask of the city, but we know how important it is to residents, and so we continue to put the work forth to make it happen.
The city says they have budgeted $925,000 to the rebate program for this third year. Applications open up the first week in December, and you have until March 31st of 2025 to get those in order to see reduction in your 2025 property taxes, Joe.
And I know this is a really heavy lift for individual municipalities, cities. Of course, the city of Boise, the largest in our state, would be interested to see if other populated areas get on this train in the coming years, or if we, I guess, learn that it's just too tough of a task.
Yeah, and I think that's something we might see as years go on too with the rebate programs. Can cities handle it? Is it too much of a load? Can they get help maybe from the legislature with that?
Yeah, there could be a legislative solution to simplify the whole thing. We'll start following that in January. Thank you, Aspen. Meridian police were called to the scene of a stabbing and later found out a teenager is the suspect. Our Abby Davis tells us more details about that and other news, like a lot of weekend sports ahead. It's the 411 here on the 208.
A 15-year-old is now in custody after the Ada County Sheriff's Office says he stabbed someone multiple times. Meridian police found the victim on West Waltman Street in Meridian around 6 p.m. yesterday, but the suspect was gone. Police later arrested him at his home for aggravated battery. The victim is recovering at a hospital. Good news for book lovers. The Parma Library opened back up today after being closed for nearly 7 months because of staffing issues. They're celebrating with food, drinks, giveaways, and more. The library is open until 6 p.m. today. Looking for something to do this Friday night? The Idaho Steelheads are taking on the Rapid City Rush at home. The puck drops at 7 o'clock at Idaho Central Arena. If you can't make it down, don't worry. You can watch the game for free on Idaho's very own 24/7. That's Digital Channel 7.2. And heads up, if you are going to the game, there's a new clear bag policy. Fans can bring clear, plastic, vinyl, and PVC bags within the size limit unless it's a diaper bag or medical supply bag. Those will still be checked by security. Small clutch purses are still allowed if they're smaller than 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. You can find more information on the arena's website. Don't forget, tomorrow is Bronco Game Day. You won't want to miss out on KTVB's Bronco Roundup Game Day show at 9 a.m. right here on Channel 7 and streaming for free on the KTVB Plus app. And just before the game tomorrow, we'll have another Bronco Roundup live from the field with Jay Tust starting at 4 p.m. We need your help. 7 Cares Idaho Shares is just around the corner. We're looking for bands, choirs, cheerleaders, and performers to help make this huge charity event even more fun. If you or someone you know wants to participate and be on TV, contact us at caresday@ktvb.com. We'd love to have you join us. That's the 411 on the 208. I'm Abby Davis.
It's Friday, and that it means it's time for Feel Good Friday, but this one isn't our normal format. It's just a guy we found in the Grove Plaza who has a unique outlook on life and a piano. We'll see what we can learn from him. What's your good news? Or tell us anything you're wondering about the 208. Maybe we'll show it today or sometime in the future. Oh, right, how do you get it to us? Send us a text, 208-321-5614. Please include your name so we can give credit and hashtag the 208 so we know it's for us. Just remember to keep them clean, concise, and clever so we can show as many as we can live at the end of the show. All right, we could all use a little feel-good Friday to get into this weekend. A human interest story, if you will, because everyone has a story. And I found one randomly walking through the Grove Plaza. I came across a guy who is on the road to change, and he's using music to help him get there. What's your first name?
Nathaniel. The band name is Colored Glass, spelled like the British way. It's just the whole human race. We're all the same. We're all humans, and I'm interested in it all. Day in my life, I wake up in my car. My piano and everything fits in the back. Like $4,000 in debt right now. I make music. That's all I've been doing. I've done manufacturing job. I've done Amazon. I did Sonic for 4 years. I'm 21. I know I don't look it, but a lot of trauma in my childhood just didn't lead to the right places, and I'm here trying to do the right thing. I got kicked out at 14 for stealing from my dad, and I lived with my mom for a year, and it's just a lot of perseverance. She was an alcoholic down in Louisiana. It was very dark atmospheres, and the music is just like that home base, so you can just feel yourself with it, and you don't have anybody else dictating who you are. You're able to find yourself within your own craft, and you're not being told who to be, how to be. You're trying to be how you want to be. And it's really cool what I've experienced for the past year or two with talking to people about what's going on, because I just played ignorance throughout my childhood. Looked at my phone, played video games, did what I wanted to, had the relationships out of lust, and just made a lot of mistakes. You have to be somebody you're not, and then you'll grow into it. It's a huge leap of faith of you're so afraid of who you used to be. It's the edge of life. I've found many people in this position where they are pushed to the edge. It's either do or die, and that's what it is. To experience true beauty, you have to experience true darkness. And to have appreciation for the true beauty, you have to understand why that darkness is there, so you don't walk towards it.
We want to know your good news or anything else about the show. Last call for comments. We love to hear from you. Text it to us right now, 208-321-5614. Don't forget your name and hashtag the 208. We're going to share as many as we can live at the end of the program.
Wow, what great shots of that supermoon there was. Those pictures were. Take it in while you can, because that's the last supermoon of 2024. But let's look outside right now. Look at this great mountain view. Unfortunately, there's still some clouds lingering around. They cleared out a little bit from this morning, but we're at 47 degrees right now, so temperatures are officially declining for the day. The high was 50 about an hour ago. This is another sky cam of southeast Boise, when you can really see this morning that total cloud coverage over the city, and then the clouds kind of scour out as the afternoon progresses, but it seems like they are still hanging around in the mountain area. This is a shot of the precipitation that we've been seeing on satellite and radar so far this afternoon. You can see there's some rain in the green. It's kind of been drifting off to the east, and it's a little harder to see, but this gray blobby area down in the mountains and in the central mountains, that's actually snow. So they were getting some snowfall. Nothing too significant today, though. But something that is picking up this afternoon are our wind gusts. So they are really starting to pick up later tonight. This is around 8 p.m. You can see that the Treasure Valley area is approaching 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and that is going to continue back and forth a little bit over the weekend. Saturday gusts should be a little bit less strong, and then Sunday they come back strong again. Sunday we are also expecting another system to come through with more precipitation, and that mixed with the wind gusts and the wind mile per hours, that's going to make it really cold out there. Starting tomorrow morning with our future cast, you can see that tomorrow is going to be clear for the most part. There's going to be some clouds, but tomorrow, Saturday, will actually be the drier, sunnier day of the weekend, because Sunday we have another system coming in. It's going to be breezy, it's going to be windy, and you can see off in the west here, you can see that system starting to creep in midday Sunday, and then it's going to roll through snow midday, really close to the Treasure Valley area. So it's possible that we see snow showers and rain showers on Sunday, and that's going to continue overnight Sunday into Monday, which made us make Monday a first alert weather day for the first half of the day, because that precipitation mixed with the wind, mixed with the cold temperatures, could make for really unstable driving conditions that Monday morning. So we want everyone to keep that in mind for your commute to work on Monday. We do anticipate that if there is any frostiness on the road, it will dissipate by the afternoon. And after Monday, we're expecting things to dry out a little bit, and mostly just expect clouds, but pay attention to that Monday morning.
All right, let's get some comments and thoughts to end the week here on the 208. We'll start with this. Person wants to know, do legislators get freebies for life like medical insurance, cuts into normal people's salaries? Yes, lawmakers get health benefits, medical, dental, retirement benefits. So yes, they do get those benefits. Okay, this is a great comment from Colin. A lot of comments about cutting costs. Has the legislature considered that they might need to cut back on lattes and avocado toast? Always great financial advice, Colin. Thank you so much for the comment. Steve says, wow, how surprising that legislative pay remains so low that only the most wealthy people in our state can have the time and means to serve in the legislature. Could this possibly be by design? I wonder. Steve, it's a good question. It's a point that Senator Winder tried to make about if you have a low-paying job, well, some people are going to be disqualified from it. This person says they were initially against legislators giving themselves a raise, but they should be paid a living wage so we can include some more people. This person says their good news is they're going to have another grandbaby in 2.5 weeks. And this person wants to know if I'm Joe from Joe on the Road. That's me, but I have a beard now. Good eye. See you soon.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.